Hey, Vinyl Community, Jeff here again, and it is time to tell you a little story about a band that I'm pretty sure 99% of you probably have never heard of. I have had an album back there in display. I took all my display albums down recently and thought, well, you know, stop doing that, or haven't done that in the past couple weeks. But I had an album that was back there displayed for quite a few videos that I never showed in a video, and mainly because I ordered at the same time that I got the album. I ordered a copy of a CD by the band, and I was waiting for that to come in so I could do a all-in-one type story, which is what I'm doing now because that CD finally came in. It took about almost a month to come from China. So anyway, and that was a band called Stoned Vengeance. Like I said, they're kind of unknown. They're a California band. I guess if you're in California, maybe you know about them. Stoned Vengeance was a California, I say was. They, as far as I know, they're still together. California, sort of thrashy, punkish band that was tearing up the scene in the mid-'80s. And they still have a website, and they still apparently occasionally play shows. So I got introduced to the band in the 80s. This album was basically released, it was a reissue, you know, in 2002 on vinyl, and it included their 1987, or at least most of, yeah, all of it, the 1987 tape. So I discovered the band in 1987. Let me briefly, before I go back to the album, let me briefly give you a rundown. Back in the day, in the 80s, as I've mentioned before, I ran a magazine. This was one of the issues, had Guardian on the cover. It was a magazine dealing with Christian music. Look, Guardian, cool picture. Anyway, and I would hear news and just put it in here. I'd seek out stuff. Anyway, and in here, and I would do reviews, of course. And so I had a copy of their album To Kill Evil, which is the 1987 one that's on that vinyl. And it just says, you know, it's songs of speed thrash, high quality cassette. It was just, you know, a real brief mention of the band. So, and then this magazine would go out to, you know, at that time probably hundreds of people. So at some point I probably sent one to the band at some point, and so the band turned around and they sent me, and these are the exact cassettes that they sent me, handwritten by the band. This is a 1985, it just says Stoned Vengeance 1985. The songs are basically the same, but they're different recordings. Now, if you look on Discogs, they had a tape in 1985 called Black Metal. And it had those songs. I'm thinking that's what this is. Except for it also had a cover of Venom's Black Metal, as well as like another Venom song. I've never actually had that physical cassette, but I'm thinking these songs may be from that, because it says Vengeance 1985, and on one side you've got a bunch of the tracks which were also on To Kill Evil in 1987, and then you've got Live in 1985, 24-track recording or something, I think is what it's saying there, and some rehearsal, and a rehearsal tape from 1986. So you have a live album, live stuff from '85, and a rehearsal from 1986. So this was sent to me by the band, and then and he used to contact me occasionally. And then at some point later, I got another cassette from the band, handwritten. It just says Stoned Vengeance 1990. Now this is an album. This was their next cassette. So they had the Black Metal one, which was kind of demo-ish, and then the second one was pretty high quality, called To Kill Evil. Had a, you know, J card and everything. It was a pro-looking cassette. And then Stoned Vengeance 1990 was another pro cassette, cover, color. It was color cover and everything. But they had sent me these cassettes back in the day of that, and then I had the To Kill Evil cassette, because that's what I'm reviewing in that magazine. And then two issues later in my magazine, I review their other tape, which at this point would have been the, it's just called Stoned Vengeance, which is the 1990 one. So in the earlier issue, I did the 1987 one. This is a 1991, and again, it's a full-length cassette. And you can see here I've got a review of their stuff in there. So that's how I discovered them. Now, fast forward years later, and they at some point I ran across, they did release To Kill Evil on CD. This was, I don't know, this was a handful of years ago. It just says copyright 1998, maybe. It says copyright 97, 90, and this is 1998. And it has some bonus tracks on here, so that's probably where that stuff came into. And there are more songs on here than just the To Kill Evil CD. So I had picked that up. I've had that for quite a few years. Now, I saw at some point, I ran across the fact that there was a vinyl release out there. So, but that was 2002, way before I was back into buying records. But I ran across a copy of this the other day online for a decent price. And I thought, yeah. And so I grabbed that, which got me on a kick to get the other stuff. So again, side A of this is their 1987 tape, To Kill Evil. And then on side B is The Wrath Cometh rehearsal demo of 1980, which is 85, which I believe, okay, yeah, that would have been this, well, that says Live in 85, rehearsal tape of 86. So anyway, this has got some rehearsal stuff on it. So it's one of those. So there's 4 songs of that on the back of that. Oh, and in case you wanted to know, I mean, realize why the first tape was called Black Metal, is the guys are African-American. It is a, you know, so that's where they're coming into it. These are pretty bad pictures. They just did not do light correction to, they're kind of subdued. Nice little package deal here. It came on green vinyl. There's a thing in here, kind of like, it looks like an old magazine. It insert, it's got like an old thing and some words about the band. Yeah, it's like an old flyer of when they played. So that's kind of cool. And then there's a sticker, Stone Vengeance, San Francisco Metal Legends. So I got that, and that's what I had back there behind me. But there was also, that was 2002 for the vinyl. In 2015, another company, I think in Russia or someplace overseas, similar cover, not exact, well, you know, it's just a compilation. It's a 2 CD set and put out by a totally different company many years later. It also has To Kill Evil on it. It's got the same songs from that on side 1. And then it's got the rehearsal of 1985, which I guess is the same songs from that. But then CD 2, you have the rehearsal of 1986. There's like 6 songs from that. You've got a rehearsal from somewhere in the mid-80s. And then you've got some live stuff, which is probably from the tape that I've got, live at Ruthie's Inn. And then some other live miscellaneous stuff back in the day. And anyway, the pictures in this are even as bad. I don't know. I've seen such cleaner pictures of this band, and these are all pretty standard pictures. But it was put together, and you know, come on, there's ways to correct that so that you can actually see that there's guys in the band. Anyway, this was the one. This CD, I thought, well, this would be cool because to have all of that on CD. Most of the stuff is the stuff that I have on cassette from back in the days, and here it is on CD. And this is pretty much all the band has released. Now, in 2000, they did release an album called Angel. It is online. You can listen to it on Spotify. I find that it, at times, is different. It's got a lot of the same feel at times, but then at other times, it's different than the earlier stuff. But to me, this stuff, I used to listen to this band so much back in the day. And so I pulled this out, got this yesterday, and ripped it into my computer and started listening to it. And again, so, you know, a lot of the songs are on here, some of the songs. But it was just so cool. It was just so cool. I just think these guys are really kind of killer. Now, they sent me this stuff. They call, you know, they get covered in a lot of Christian magazines. And they are, you know, their lyrics are very, you know, it's all against evil, and Jehovah's going to kill, and I mean, Jehovah's going to defeat evil, and we're here to be warriors and stuff like that. But, you know, there are some laced in, at times, you know, some words that some people might think are not for Christian bands. So I know that some people have given them flack for that, an occasional curse word here or there. But, and it's just loose and raw and metallic, and at the same time, but kind of a little punkish flair, but, you know, thrash, but it's just really cool. Anyway, this is hard to find in the U.S. I had to order a copy. Like I said, I think it came out, the company that put it out as like overseas. I think this was the one that was in Russia. I ordered a copy from China, and they shipped it, and it took about a month, way over 3 weeks to get here. So, you know, but it was, you know, it was great. I couldn't find a single seller in the U.S. This album, you know, again, it's 2015, so it's kind of hard to find nowadays. But anyway, check it out. I mean, you could probably, I'm not even sure you can still find this. I got this probably on Amazon 20 years ago, 15 years ago. But if you're not familiar with Stone Vengeance, these I see you can find occasionally, even though they're 2002. Again, I found it, I think, on Discogs, and it wasn't too expensive. So, oh, there's only 500 copies, and I have number 108 of 500. Hand numbered, I just realized. Doom Planet Records, and they're out of California. So, anyway, check them out if you're into that. I can think of a couple guys in the VC that would probably be into that kind of stuff, just that edgy thrash, but slightly punky feeling stuff. But anyway, that was what was behind me that I hadn't shown in case anybody was wondering. And that's it for this one, though. Just some fun stuff. Thanks a lot for watching. Rock on and rock hard.